Pedro, hola, how are you today?
Hello, how are you doing?
Good, thank you very much. Um, Thank you so much for sending in your film, Jurria, The Guardians of the Pole. We were thrilled to receive it. I think it's a wonderful, wonderful film. And
Thank
for
you.
me, what I love about it is that it combines, these young people who are getting together, having fun together. It combines that with, the environment and the landscape, but also crucially with their history. And they're very grounded in what they're doing, and I just loved it. I thought it was a joy to watch. So can I ask you, first of all, talking of connections, what is your connection with the Jurria, and how did the film come about?
Well, the producer Isidoro Falcon came to me and one day. He gave me a ring and said, Pedro, I've got an idea. I'd love to share it with you. So he came home and we talked about it, and I just loved it. And that was the beginning of Jurria, the Guardians of the Pole, because we had to find a link, a guided link for the whole documentary, a shepherd family, or an old shepherd who could talk about the tradition. And we did find it. It's Master Paco. Master Paco is a great person. It's lovely, and we met him in Tasarte, which is a little village in the west part of Gran Canaria, where most of the film take place, and around his house. And we found out that he had been learning from his parents and his grandparents, and he did the same with his sons too. So it's been there was a full generation transmitting the tradition of the pole. So it was ideal. Then we started shooting the film.
Yeah, I really liked Master Paco and his two children as well. They're just great characters, aren't they? And
Yeah.
They're obviously at the center of that. That's when I first started watching the film. In a way, I couldn't quite believe what I was seeing, because I'd never seen. It was new to me. I'd never seen that done before, and it made me think. Firstly, was it happening anywhere else in the world? And secondly, is there anything else like it? What else would you compare it to? Do you think it's absolutely unique? You must have thought about that a lot.
I think, as far as I know, I think it's unique, at least in the way they use the poles. I think in Ireland they use poles to help the activity with the animals too, but to move around the cliffs and to use the pole the way it's being used here, I think it's quite unique in the world. Could say that, yeah.
Yeah, I think shepherds use long poles to hit their sheep with every now and again, not necessarily to slide down cliff faces. But you mentioned that they don't like to think of it as a sport, and that reminds me a bit of rock climbing, because there is some competitiveness around rock climbing. But really, it's about clubs or groups of friends just going out and enjoying space and time together.
Exactly.
So it's very similar to that, and also very graceful to watch. To see the way that some of your shots where they're moving along a ridge together. It looks so unusual, but it also looks so natural in the landscape.
Yeah, and they help each other. The groups. I mean, your mates, you go out with your mates to the countryside, to the cliffs, and you have to get on with them, because at any time you're going to need help from any of them. Yeah. Plus, it is a way, as I've said before, of socializing. As in the rock climbing, it's the groups are very strong. They've got strong connections, and they talk to each other. And then once or twice a year, they call for a great meeting of all the Jurrias in the Canary Islands. So we had here in Gran Canaria, we had during the shooting of the film, we had at least 2 or 3 big meetings of Jurrias from Tenerife, from La Palma, from other islands here in Gran Canaria. So lots of people going down the mountain with the poles. That was really impressive too.
Wow.
So we've learned a lot too during the making of this documentary, because we knew about it, but when you really get deep into it and you even see places in your own island that you haven't seen before, that's really impressive too.
Yes, because it makes the inaccessible accessible in some places, doesn't it?
It was a bit difficult in some parts of the documentary to get to the right place for the right shot at the right time, because they use the pause and it's very easy for them. But when you have trekking sticks and a big gear on your back, and it's a big cliff at your feet, you know, it's a bit scary sometimes. But you have to make it right.
I'm sure it must be dangerous. I don't think there's much in the film about the danger involved. I know they're trained. There's a lot of training. Are there a lot of incidents, accidents?
We asked Master Paco about that. He reminds a couple of deaths many years ago, accidentally. But as far as I know, there haven't been any deaths really. Although it is actually very, very dangerous. You can see it. I mean, a little mistake can put you on the floor, and in that environment,
yes,
it is you know, it is very, very dangerous. Well, but they feel very confident when they jump, and that's the main point, I think. And if you're not ready for a big jump, you just go around it, and you move in groups with the same level. So if you're a very experienced jumper, you go to the most difficult place for jumping, because they love that. But if you're a beginner, you're gonna be with the beginners with little jumps, you know, and that's the way they progress.
Yeah, I was trying to imagine if it could take off and become a hobby for people in this country. And I decided that it probably wouldn't be a good idea. I don't think the mountain rescue teams here would be very pleased for us to be promoting that. But for example, it says in the film that it's not a good idea to do when it's either wet or windy. And
I was going to say that.
Yeah, wet and windy are both things in the UK that we have a lot of. So.
Yeah, you have a lot of wind, a lot of rain too. So
the other, of course, you do, but you also have long windless days, don't you? Blue skies. But the landscape is also important, perhaps, because it's the islands are volcanic, aren't they? And you know, there's not so much vegetation, and there's the steps that they can come down. Do you think the landscape must have had some influence on the invention of the poles?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Landscape is a lot to do. Has a lot to do with this activity, and taking into account that the Canary Islands are volcanic from its origin. Shepherds had to find a way to move around the cliffs to gather the animals, and I think it has a lot to do with the relief of the Canary Islands.
Yes, I imagine it's quite hard to keep up with a herd of goats in that landscape.
Oh yeah,
Not easy. Master Paco talks about the pole being sacred. So can we talk about that a little bit? What do you think he means by that?
I mean that is the tool. It means that the pole is the essential tool to survive. So that's what it says, sacred, because if the pole didn't have the right shape, the right conditions for the jump, you could die.
Yeah.
So that's what he means. It means is a very, very, very important tool for the activity, the most essential tool. And if without that, you lost. So impossible to gather all to get all the animals together, and because they use the pole to get before the animals to the place. So if they run, they got first and they put them back. Yeah. So without that pole, to avoid all these big places, in it is massive. I saw it when I was shooting. I say, oh my God, they're gonna get through there, but I can't get there. So they got to me in seconds with a pole, and I couldn't do it. Imagine with the animals. So
wow,
it means that when you say sacred.
Yeah, it stands between you and death, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Amazing. Wow. And do you, having made the film, what is your hope for this film, and also, but also for the poles? Are you just trying to create awareness? Are you thinking it might be something that be taken up in other areas? Are you trying to draw attention to the islands?
Basically, the main idea was to help to keep the tradition and to the continuity of transmitting generation after generation, so it doesn't get lost. That's the main idea. I've been talking to the jumpers lately, and they're very happy because a lot of people, new people, are getting interested in learning. So they are the number of courses is growing very, very quickly. So they're very happy, and that's a good point, and that's a good result. As far as I know, they are looking for that. They're very much into telling people that you are going through a very cultural experience, making a better society, enjoying nature, looking after nature, enjoying the mountain, the activity, society, all that elements are very important for the campus here, for the Jurrias, and they're quite happy. So I'm happy. They're happy. So because the aims of the documentary, we're getting to them. So
yeah,
we're very happy with that.
That's great. I mean, I could see myself coming there as a tourist and doing a course and going into the mountains and practicing it. I mean, it could be a source of income for them, couldn't it? Possibly.
They'll be even happier if people from other places of the world come here and get into a course and learn the background of the champ, and also the way it has to be done. You know, they really will be happy, very happy.
Now, I'd love to have a go at it, but I wouldn't be attempting the full leap. That would be not going there. What is it, 6 meters or something? Yeah, that's not for me. But maybe just a short. I've got one here actually. It's.
All right.
That's about. It does extend.
It
gets a bit longer, but not. Not 3.5 meters or whatever they are.
3.5, 4, 420. It depends on the person.
Yeah. Now, a lot of those guys, the women and the men doing it, are the descendants of shepherds, aren't they? And I know in some of the scenes there were these dogs with them. I'm assuming those are sheepdogs, are they? Traditional sheepdogs.
Some of them are descendants. Some of them are people like you and me that one day come across the activity and decide that you want to try it. And that's a good thing, because the activities happen to everybody. And at the same time, it's closed because you have to be very focused on what you're doing, but it's open to everybody. They welcome everybody to help the tradition not to be lost, as I've already said.
What time of year is the big get together when all the Jurria meet and you have your big festival?
Well, normally after believe it or not, we have winter here too, in
Yeah,
the Canary Islands. We have winter, we have spring. It's not as strong as in other parts of the world. But when the good weather comes, all these big meetings are called. We say after May, probably May, June, July, and September and October is a good month too, because it's very mild here. It's good. It's the perfect month, October, because it's very calm everywhere. Not rain, not wind. Well, it used to be like that before. Now, the weather in the whole world is changing. So, but October is a good month. June, July, May.
So it wouldn't have happened last year then, did it not happen?
No, we were very lucky actually. We finished the documentary at the end, December 2019, and we were very lucky because we didn't know what was coming, So
yeah,
the end of the shooting was December 19, and then the editing started in January, February, when the pandemic situation started to blow in the whole world. So we were really lucky to be able to, because otherwise, in today's situation, it would have been impossible to get all the jumpers together.
Yeah.
Because everybody's scared. Now you have to wear masks, and situation doesn't help really to shoot a documentary like Jurria at the moment. So we were really lucky.
I hope they can all gather again this year and meet up and have a festival. I'm sure it's a big party as well, is it?
That'll be great.
Is there dancing and singing? Is it a full-on party as well, or is it more?
Yeah, after the practice, I mean, they get together, they go down, they have very different routes. They normally tend to be on a weekend, so they get together on a Friday night, ready for Monday morning, early morning. Saturday morning. So they do Saturday morning, Sunday morning, and normally on Saturday night or even Sunday afternoon, after the activity, they get together, they dance, they play guitars, folklore, local music, food.
Yeah, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Well, good luck to them. I mean, when all that comes back, bring it all back,
Yeah.
Oh, please bring it back. Please bring it back. Okay, well, listen, thank you for your time. And again, thank you so much for the film. It was a real, I just thought it was a magical thing to watch, a really beautiful and unusual thing. And I wish you all the best with the film. I'm sure it'll be a great hit and it'll go around the world and take the Jurria and make them famous, I'm sure.
Thank you very much, Greg. If you let me say something,
of course.
We're very proud of the film. We're very happy. We want to show the whole world that here in the Canary Islands, there are a lot more than sun and beaches, and that's why we wanted to show the rest of the world. And we thank you for having our documentary in your festival. We're very proud and very grateful. Thank you very much.
No problem at all. Thank you. I just know everybody's going to love it. So you take care, and we'll speak again in the future, I'm sure. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you, Greg. Bye-bye, everybody.